I'd like to call the meeting of the Historic District Commission on Wednesday, April 23rd to order at 6:01 p.m. I am Ashley Meyer. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves down the row here.
Michelle Widener-Hill.
Sarah Cohn.
Marianne Lawrence.
Lorelei Dorr.
Thank you. Next item is approval of minutes for the April 9th meeting. Are there any corrections? All right, hearing no corrections, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up, any public comments on any non-agenda items? So if there's anyone here who would like to speak on anything not on the agenda. Seeing none, moving on. We don't have any old business. So new business is HDC case 25-10103 South Dean Street. Is there a representative here for that property? If you could come up and state your name and sign in, and then just give us a little rundown of your project and what you're asking for.
My name is Dave Clements. I'm a co-owner of 103 South Dean Street. We are looking to repaint the exterior of the building, power washing it first, tuck pointing exterior masonry walls, installing 7 windows into the existing locations from when the original building was built, and to fill in some spots that old windows were put in, or newer windows were put in.
So as far as your power washing, Tony, is that something that needs approval anyway?
Repainting would not. The power washing does. Any power washing or cleaning or paint removal on masonry requires historic district approval. So I know there's been 1 or 2 projects that have come before the HDC before that were related to power washing. A lot of it's related to assuring that it's not sandblasting, or that the level of power washing won't damage the masonry joints.
Okay. Do you happen to know what the secretary, do they have a recommended PSI? Do you know?
I was not able to locate a recommended PSI, no. I think there should, I would trust a professional painting company that was removing paint from a masonry building to not, in the applicant's judgment, damage their own building, especially given that it's block instead of brick. I'd be more concerned with a brick building and the brick joints, especially an older one with block. The hope would be that it's a little bit more robust. And then I believe part of the applicant's proposal was if there was any damage that was found or that occurred as part of the removal, that masonry would be repaired.
Okay. Do you know what PSI? I mean, I know that's a weird question.
I have no idea.
Okay. I would assume it'd be anything under like 300.
We've had a painting company give us a quote already, but it does not say PSIs in it.
Yeah, just the only real, the blocks themselves are going to be pretty resilient. You'd be more concerned with your mason, or your mortar. You don't want to knock it loose. But yeah, I mean, I would assume anything under like 300 would be appropriate. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not certain what amount you would need to blast off. I don't know how many layers of paint are there. Again, going off professional judgment from the applicant's their submittal. It's just a note saying that, you know, if there was damage, that it would be repaired. That could be part of the condition of approval, would be just making sure that before it's sealed, once again, that it's repaired.
I mean, paint usually comes off pretty okay off of that if it's loose, so it really doesn't have to be that high. So our windows, can you oh, we've got them, never mind, just kidding.
I do have a question about the windows. I think when I drove by, it looked like there were more than 7 windows that had been shut. So are you going to keep a few of them shut up?
We are not doing anything on the second floor for right now. There are windows up there. They're going to stay the way they are until we move to that area next. For right now, all the windows that were existing, we open them back up around the back side, on the back side of the Udici's Pizza. There's one that's still remaining there, but we do not want to open that one up.
Thank you.
And so I assume you're using the same size opening that's in the brick? You're not like closing it in, it's the same, your windows that you're proposing are the same size as the original opening?
They are not.
Or not?
These
Okay.
are not as tall.
Is there in or, oh,
On the top will be done with wood. It'll be filled with wood all the way down to the new window.
okay, do you have, I guess I should say, what size are the windows compared to the opening? Like, what's the differential?
The windows right now are 50 inches wide, and I think they're like 60-some inches high. We're going with 48 by 48, so we could put a wood structure around the cement block, masonry block that's in there now. The reason we're not going that high is because if we keep them up to the original height, then we have to have an 11-foot ceiling inside of our building, and we can't have an 11-foot ceiling in the building because we need to put our ductwork through there for our heating.
Are you replicating kind of that vertical look that all the other windows are covered in that differential, or are you just going to put like one solid piece?
Right now, it's going to be one solid piece, but we are looking at options that we can do it. We would like to make this as historic as we can make it.
Yeah. I'm not sure there really is a historic versus not. I mean, you know, when you're blocking in a window, you know what I mean? I would just think for consistency's sake, if you weren't removing, you know, your second-story windows at the moment, that you might, you know, just want it to be more consistent.
Second story will probably be next year's project. Yeah.
So that's pretty close behind, so.
I do have a question again. On page 16, this one here, I'm having a little trouble understanding what I'm looking at here. I'm afraid I can't read all of the writing, but it looks like you have 2 different size windows.
Those windows have already been removed and have been infilled with split-face block. Yeah, you can see the blue lines that's around them. Those are the original windows openings that should have been there that were blocked in before. We took out the glass windows, we infilled with split-face block, and we opened up those windows to match the rest of the windows that's there. Those are the original windows. That's where our new windows would be going now.
So what you're going to be, what it's going to look like is what's in red?
The blue is the
Blue.
proposed window. The window that's shown in this picture, the red outline is where it was filled, and then the blue window is an outline of what was the original opening, similar to how the window on the second story is in line with it like that. The blue is you can kind of see this different color, like flat-faced block, and this is the textured block. This is where that original opening was at.
Oh, okay, the original. Okay. Thank you.
Is the work already been done? Is that what I'm looking at on the west side here?
I'm gonna apologize, I got a little anxious. We had one of the infills on the back side of the building. They filled it in with 4-inch block on the outside and the inside, because those are, that's there right now are 12-inch blocks, and one of the walls was caving in onto the inside. So I called my mason friend, our company, and they came over and they took care of it for us. And while they're there, I said, just keep on going. So yes, we have did some work on them.
So that kind of gives you an idea, Marianne, what it's gonna, if you look at page 15, the west side, you can kind of, it's in shadow, but you can kind of see what they've already done there. I can't really see the block that you guys replaced. Did you say that they were different sizes?
The existing block that's on there right now is 24-inch by 12-inch with thickened webs on them. They're impossible to find anywhere. So we went with a 12-inch, I guess we're gonna call it an 8-inch block, 12 inches deep, and with a split face to match as much as we could possibly match.
Yeah, masonry can be tricky sometimes.
Well, the masons weren't real happy trying to get the old blocks out because it took 2 guys just to lift 1 block.
So just to make sure, just to clarify, even though it looks like you already did it, but I'm just gonna make sure, you're still planning on putting in like a sill there, like a,
All the windows have
stone,
sills on them now.
what's that?
All the windows have sills on them.
Yeah, I mean, when you're replacing the new ones, you're still gonna put, I can't tell if it's wood or block. Is it wood?
There's a block sill. Each of the windows has a block sill at the bottom, like you can see it here in this picture. This right here is a block sill, and then there's a block lintel at the top of all of the windows as well.
So those are being replicated on the new openings, right? Okay.
Yeah, you can see in that picture, 15 of 34 there, you can see it'd be the right-hand side. You can see where we filled in the bottom of it because somebody actually cut that old window out and made it a doorway, passage door to come into the building. There was 3 passage doors that we blocked up 2 of them.
Too many egresses.
Pardon me?
I said too many egresses.
That's what we're trying to get rid of.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions or? This siding sample, if you will, is that what you're filling in with?
Around the windows, yes, and up on the top.
Do I have a picture? I see a house. I assume these are for the windows. Was there a specific picture of the windows you were using?
There should have been a shop drawing in your package.
Be page 24.
Okay, so they're picture windows.
Correct.
Your packet was very thorough. I appreciate it.
Thanks. I didn't do it.
Does anybody else have any other comments, questions? And if not, is there a motion?
I move that the Historic District Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness for all work described and depicted by the work review application for case HDC 2510 submitted by the applicant. The applicant has demonstrated the work will comply with U.S. Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation 1 through 4, 6, and 9, as well as Section 6411C of the city's Historic Preservation District regulations.
Is there support?
Support.
I'm sorry, who was, Mary Ann? Sure. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
And follow up with Mr. Dyer in the office if you need anything else and next steps.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Thank you. Take it easy.
All right. Well, this was a nice short meeting. Is there any other business for you, Tony?
The next meeting is the 12th of May, I believe. Or, sorry, it's the 14th. I was just corrected today by Lisa. Where's my calendar? I want to make sure. They're, I think, right now, today was the deadline. Yeah, the 14th of May. There's 3 cases on the agenda right now. So we will have a meeting. I checked on the meeting time. The city would prefer, and the more I think about it, I would also prefer if we kept it to one single time. So if it is under consideration to move the meeting time from 6 to 6:30, that would be a vote to change the meeting within the bylaws. But it's preferred to keep meetings the same time throughout the year, particularly since we're a board that has as many meetings as we do, and they shift between seasons. I thought about it in the interest of clarity to applicants as well, but also there was some hesitance from my boss and my boss's boss. So just want to, if that's something that you would all like to consider, and we still can. I think we'll have to wait until a meeting when we're all present to vote on bylaws, but I could certainly, at the next meeting, if you wanted me to bring the language for an amendment to vote on or consider, or you can talk amongst yourself on it. I just wanted to make sure I brought that up, that I looked into that. That was kind of where we came out.
I think I'm in the minority because we did just move it, but for the winter months, because of it getting late, and dark and whatnot. It's just hard, especially during construction season, to get home, get showered, get something to eat, and, so but I'm probably in the minority wanting it a little later. I mean, I'm happy to rediscuss next meeting, but.
Okay. All right. And then I think that was the only outstanding item from last time. So yeah, we will have a meeting on the 14th, and then.
I just realized I screwed up, Tony.
Uh-oh, what's up?
I didn't do public comment for that case.
That's okay. It didn't appear that there was public comment during that portion of it, but that's all right. We are new to double public comment meetings, which is all right. We'll get on track for it. I appreciate you filling in and doing chairperson duties.
No problem, but this is why Mary's better at it, for the record.
It'll be new to her too, because we haven't, I don't think, since we've instituted it on the agendas, she's had the opportunity to, especially with multiple cases where we're running through, public comment for each individual agenda item. But we'll all get it.
Yeah, I think it's probably not going to come up very often, but I get for the sake of
Right, consistency.
procedure why it's
Yep.
necessary, but.
Yep. So, other than that, I'm all set.
Any-
Yes.
I don't know how Bay City or Bay County feels about it, but when it comes to antique buildings, a lot of times when it comes to, because we're talking about pressure washing and stuff like that, old masonry, like I have that carriage house I was telling you about, I would never hit it with water. But what we have done before is you use compressed air. You use good compressed air, and it knocks everything off. Now, if you have, like if you have to do something like some kind of goo fell on it or something like that, then hit it that way. But that's something that we do, and it saves you a whole lot of grief, because when you start hitting those old girls with water, they really can get messed up, especially the tuck pointing and that type of stuff. So I don't know if you want to use that in the future, but that's something that we've used, and
Yeah.
so you know.
No, it could certainly be something that we bring up. I I was surprised to find when I was looking through and preparing the staff report that there wasn't a firm answer on the Secretary of the Interior website.
There is actually, I don't know what it is right offhand, but I know it, I know that there is, because we've looked it up before.
Okay.
But, you know, like, we have cedar siding on buildings and stuff like that, and if you hit that with pressurized water, it tends to splinter.
Sure.
And same with tuck pointing or anything like that. So I was on the board for Habitat for Humanity for a while, and one of the people said, oh, no, we never do antique buildings that way. We only use compressed air. And so I was at a site one time where there was an older building. It wasn't an antique, it wasn't a historic, but they just used the compressed air. Takes paint chips off, it takes birds' nests out and stuff like that. It works really good.
Excellent.
No, that's an absolutely excellent idea, and I want to know where you were like 2-3 years ago when I needed you. Because I can tell you from personal experience that water can be problematic because I have a very strong power washer.
Sure.
And yes, my wood, any wood that's especially old wood, which is usually what we're talking about here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's a high quality wood, you know, just over time, it just degrades and you put anything, I mean, I think 300 is a fair amount, but I think that's probably even a little high compared to the recommendation.
I think that's kind of crazy, quite honestly. 300 is,
I mean,
one woman's opinion, okay? I would never take it over 200, never.
as I said, it didn't go well.
For
so-
wood or masonry?
Yeah, I say, but that's,
But masonry is going to do the same thing. Anything that's 150 years old.
Yeah.
You know, it has been beat to death, plus the fact that our water today is not like water was 150 years ago.
Sure.
We got all kinds of gunk and goo in it and stuff like that, plus now everybody's up in arms about every time that you wash something or chip something or whatever, you know, is there going to be some kind of lead crisis? Plus the fact that if you take a house that's got paint, I mean, I realize this building didn't have it, but just for future reference, if you got a house that's got paint and you're washing it and you've got a gazillion paint chips on the ground, now you have a bunch of wet paint chips that somebody has to go back through and eradicate. So it really is just a hot mess. Now, when you have dry paint chips, you can go through and blow them out, or you can, you know, blow them up in a pile at least or stuff like that. You can rake a lot of the big ones, and the other ones will just go into the soil and that type of thing. It's just a lot easier process. It really is. The compressed air is real handy.
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're totally right. And again, where were you a few years ago? Because what she's saying is, I still find paint chips. And I wasn't even doing very much. I was just doing the foundation, and they're everywhere. Yeah.
I have a house right now, the back, the eastern exposure will not hold paint. My husband painted part of it last year. In fact, it's the dollar house I tell y'all about that I have y'all come through. The one side will not hold paint. He painted part of it last year, and this year he scraped it off and painted again. And it's good house because it's 150-year-old wood, it's cedar, it's been beat on. It's just not gonna work, so just.
But it looks relatively in good condition? It just won't hold the paint, or is it look kind of rough?
It won't hold paint. I mean, the siding is still there, but, you know, you prime it, you scrape it, prime it, paint it. Now, the house across the street, it doesn't have cedar, which is different, which is also nice. It's got regular, it's not oak, it's alder. It's got alder siding, and you can scrape it. In fact, he's doing it, he started it last summer, and he'll finish it this summer. Scrape it, caulk it, prime it, paint it. It holds paint great. We have one on Sherman Street, well, right over by Mary Ann's house. Holds paint beautifully, has for like the last 10 years, just fabulously. But this other house, it's at 610 North Sheridan. That's why I'm going to come in here eventually and go, I need siding. Just so you know. It's, yeah, the cedar itself is just, it just doesn't hold up. Plus, I don't know who had it before. It's been through a fire. It went through water, tens of thousands of gallons of water. The wood is compromised half to death. So that's why we call it the dollar house, because we got it for $1. So yeah, if you ever want to go look and see what it looked like, go to the YouTube
Yes.
Born Again Homes Lori Dorr and look at the 610 project, and you'll see where we started and where we're at now. But yeah, there's one side of the building that it just really will not hold paint for nothing.
So strange. So strange. Okay, anyway.
Back then, they had trees. They built with trees. I mean, if this was Italy, all of our houses would be made out of granite and marble, you know, but trees don't last as long as rocks. That's just kind of how it goes.
Well, and cedar is a softwood, so it's a little more cranky than hardwoods, and yeah, that's probably part of it too. Weird. I don't know. kind of a bummer, since cedar was normally, old cedar at least, was really good at moisture wicking, so it's interesting that it's gotten so soft. I mean, shows how old and how much water's been on it.
Yeah, it splinters. I mean, and that's just a thing. It's kind of weird. It's the only cedar-sided house we have. Everything else is, well, we have two houses that are part asbestos and then part regular, like maple or just regular siding. And then, like I said, the other ones are either oak or maple, that type of thing. They hold paint great, but this one is fussy. But after going through a fire, then tens of thousands of gallons of water, she probably got beat up.
Yeah, the wood's mad. All right, well, unless there's anything else, do we have a motion to close the meeting?
Motion to adjourn. Support.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Just kidding.